Hey everybody, it's Steve. In this video, I'm really excited to show you my new laser. It's a LaserCube by Wicked Lasers. The link is below. And don't be fooled by the small size of this thing. It's only 4 inches square, but it is a seriously powerful Class 4 laser. It's so powerful that you actually need a key to turn it on. It has a built-in battery. On the back there's a USB port to connect it to either a PC, a Mac, or an Android device. That's how you control it. And this thing does so many different things, from playing video games to popping balloons from across a room. But in this video, I want to concentrate on programming a laser light show. I want to show you the OS on a MacBook Pro, show you stock patterns that are built into the OS. There's hundreds. Show you how to sync audio with a free program called Sound Syphon, and then how to trigger patterns with hotkeys from the computer keyboard or using a MIDI keyboard, and finally programming a light show synced to audio in your digital audio workstation. So now I'm going to show you LaserOS on the Mac. This is version 9.27, and you'll see when it opens up, it's divided into 3 sections: apps, patterns, and effects. Here are the different apps. First of all, on visualizers, you can see there's a whole bunch of patterns built into this thing. And this one's black hole, hypnotic lines. There's also a whole section of different dancers. And then there's animations. You're only seeing part of them, and different images. There's a lot of pre-programmed images and patterns. You can also create your own in this section called abstracts. In basic geometry, you can start rotating different patterns and add elements. And then you can start randomizing. And when there's something that you like, you can hit save. Besides for basic geometry, there's an auto draw function and this tunnel function where you can set all the different parameters. Once you've chosen or created a pattern, you can also add effects to it. You can add color effects. Here's some different ways of altering this pattern. Every one of these effects can be controlled with hotkeys from the computer keyboard or MIDI keyboard. In order to sync audio to other apps on the Mac, you have to download a free program called Sound Syphon. After the trial period, it's going to ask you to buy it, but if you just ignore that and close it, it continues to work in its basic functions. You can set up virtual input devices in this pane here. You can see I've set up Pandora and Logic. You can add and remove virtual devices. And once you have it set up like that, when you open the LaserOS app, you'll see that the default for audio is built-in microphone, but now when you go to the drawdowns, you can see Sound Syphon, select it, and the other apps will sync to LaserOS. So now I want to show you how to create hotkeys on the computer. If we go to our playlist and we pick our first pattern, if you click this star, you can click Assign Hotkey, and when you press a key on the computer, you can see that it has assigned that hotkey. And you hit OK. You can go to the second one, click Assign Hotkey. We'll make that 2. Hit OK. And now when we go back, you can see that when you hit these individual keys, it calls up the different patterns. And you can do the same thing with the effects. We could go to color lift, and we could assign a hotkey to that. Make that A, and we'll make glitch S. So now I also can control effects, because now we're going to assign hotkeys with a MIDI keyboard. So here is my trusty Alesis Q49. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to assign hotkey, and we're going to pick the key. I'm going to pick the C. You'll see it pick C7. I'm going to hit OK. We'll just do a couple more. Okay, and now you can see that when I press these different keys on the keyboard, it triggers the pattern. And I can do the exact same thing with the effects. I can put hotkeys on all these different effects. We need to configure the computer so Logic can communicate to LaserOS via MIDI. What you want to do is open the Audio MIDI Setup window. It's going to open Audio Devices by default. Go to Show MIDI Studio. And it's going to show something called an IAC driver. When you open that up, you can add or subtract ports. This one by default is the IAC bus. I'm going to rename it Logic to Laser, just to help make it clearer when I'm setting everything up, and hit apply, and then we are going to be ready to go. So now we're going to bring it all together by syncing some of these patterns to an audio track in Logic. That I assigned all these different hotkeys to the different patterns as well as the effects, and I can now play them with the keys. And what I've done is I've imported an audio track, and I've created a MIDI track. I named the MIDI track Laser Control, and I've assigned its port to the IAC driver Logic to Laser that we created earlier. We can play this track, and we can start syncing patterns to the track. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to hit record. And you can see I'm triggering effects, as well as patterns. So let's stop that. And now, in order to play this back correctly, what we need to do is take recording off, and we need to go here, and in our MIDI section, now we have to set this MIDI input to Logic to Laser, the IAC driver. And then when we're back and playing, it's back and it's syncing to what we recorded. And it's recording the effects, and it's recording the patterns and playing them back in sync the way that we played them on the keyboard. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more videos about this LaserCube, including being run by an Android device, please subscribe. Let's see how this thing looks with a little bit of haze.